That's up and running. Now let's add an action to the add button, and it's up to you how you want to add it. I will just this time specify a specific name. Add person. There we go. That's the name of the click event, and I'll call it handler, like this. I'll do enter, and now it actually puts that specific name inside my code, add person handler. So that means you can specify your very own name if you do not want the default naming. Good. So what do we do when we actually add a person? Well, we want to add a property here, just like we would in any normal class inside C#. So we'll add a property here, and we'll call that property, it's going to be a person we're going to end up with, and it's going to be called person. So that's the property, right? And now let's say if you do click the add person handler, what do you want? Well, I want to create a new person that's stored inside the person. New person. And that person is going to get, yes, you probably guessed it, it's going to have a name equal to the txt field's name, right? And then it's going to have the email equal to the txt email's text. That's all we have to do. So after we added the person, we'll end up explaining the dialog that the dialog result was true, meaning that everything went as expected. That's pretty much what it's saying. It also shuts down the dialog now, and we can go in and use this beautiful thing we just made in our code. So let's hit the main window here. I'll go in here, and maybe I can jot that dialog down. There we go. I'll go inside the main window here, and what should we do? Well, first of all, we need to, of course, trigger the click event. So we need to tell it that when you're clicking the add button, then you should actually pop up this dialog. So I'll double click the add button here. It'll create an event for me. It'll pop into that event just like we've done a few times from the main window. And now what do we need to do? Well, luckily working with SAML is pretty much the same as working with any object-oriented language. So what we'll do is we'll start out with a var called add person dialog, like this. So this is where we will have the dialog object put in. So we'll do a new add dialog. What do we call it? Add person dialog. Person. What's the name of the dialog? Add person, actually. Only bad name for a dialog. You should say dialog in the end. Let's rename that. Control R to rename, and I'll do it twice. And then I'll say add person dialog, because that's just more explanatory about what I'm actually using here. And I'll even fill it spelling dialog. Let's continue. I don't want to rename it again. So I have the add person dialog, and all you have to do is pretty much say if add person dialog dot show dialog equals true. So if that actually succeeds in showing the dialog and having true, so notice here again, it'll return false if I do cancel or if I press the cross in the corner. But if I actually do the add person and the dialog result is true, then I'll get to this function. That means that now I have a person available in the add person dialog. And all I have to do now is actually take that person, use my PM manager, say add person because we already made that, say add person dialog and use the property of person that we made earlier, and then I need to do the same here again. I just want to update my person list with the newest list. And that should be it. Now the person should be available. Let's try and run it again and see if that actually works. And I'll try and explain the code again. So we did two things here. We started out by adding a new dialog. And notice the new dialog actually has a new add button and a new cancel button. Now the add button has the name of add button and the cancel button has the name of cancel button. And I say if I hit the cancel button, I expect this to be an actual cancellation. So the dialog don't have to do anything. It should just shut down again. If I do hit the add button, first of all, it's default, so that's the one that's default selected. So if you just start the dialog and press enter, then the add button will actually trigger. Now the second thing you should know is when I do hit that add button, then I hit this add person handler that we created. And that one, it actually sets a local property into new person, sets the name of email to the two text fields, and tells the dialog everything went fine by setting the dialog result to true. The main window, it actually uses this new dialog by step one, creating a new dialog, saying show the dialog, and that just triggers the dialog to pop up in front of our face. And when we press add or cancel, either the value returned is true if we press add, or it's false if we press cancel. If we press add, then we add the person and we update the list inside the dialog. So let's try and do this. Add person pops up the dialog. I'll create a new person here, Lars, and I'll give an email of this. Doesn't matter. I'll say add, and he pops up right here. Right? Let's do the same. Add person again, but this time I'll still add some information here, but now I'll press cancel. It just shuts down and nothing happens. Everything is running. So next time we'll close down the course and start the real course, which is MVC applications. See you next time.